Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling a fundamental shift that has completely reshaped how every modern organization operates: the massive migration of enterprise infrastructure from traditional, on-premises setups to the cloud. We've totally changed where our data lives and how we access it. But with that shift comes a massive, looming question about the safety of our most critical assets.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Has modern cloud security actually made things better, or did it just make our lives infinitely more complex? That's the central question we're unpacking today. We're going to look at the historical shifts, the data, and the real hidden costs of how we secure our systems right now.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're covering 6 main stops. First, on-premises versus the cloud. Second, the new perimeter is identity. Third, evolving modern security threats. Fourth, complexity and business impact. Fifth, an access configuration audit checklist. And lastly, future infrastructure security trends.
Kicking things off with Section 1, on-premises versus the cloud, evaluating the historical shift.
To really grasp where we're at, we kind of have to look at where we came from. Enterprise infrastructure has essentially shifted across 3 main models: purely on-premises, hybrid setups, and fully cloud-based environments. Back in the traditional on-premises days, things were straightforward, but incredibly rigid. You relied on clunky VPNs to get inside, you had mapped network drives. Honestly, if you needed a password reset, you often had to literally be physically on the corporate network. It's almost unimaginable today. And the operational challenges? Massive. If hardware failed, you were stuck waiting on physical replacements. Today, moving to the cloud-first or hybrid model, the reliability benefits are absolutely huge. We're talking high availability, endless scalability, and much faster incident response times. But here's the catch. The operational challenge has completely shifted. We've now introduced a heavy dependency on third-party providers and significantly higher system complexity.
And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate trade-off. We always ask ourselves, was on-prem more secure because of its simplicity, or did we just really love having control? Well, the reality is, on-premises gave us absolute control but zero flexibility. The cloud gives us ultimate flexibility, but at the cost of massive, tangled complexity. We basically traded waiting 3 weeks for a replacement server for managing a web of intertwined cloud services. We aren't hugging physical servers anymore, but we're putting a whole lot of trust in external providers.
Moving right along to Section 2, the new perimeter is identity, shifting the security focus.
Because of this massive migration to the cloud, the entire conversation has moved away from physical availability and hardware. It is now completely focused on identity and access security. Think of it like this. The old on-premises model was basically a traditional castle. Once you used your VPN key to get past the moat, you were pretty much trusted to just roam the halls. But the cloud model? It's more like a highly secure smart hotel. Getting in the front door isn't enough anymore. The system checks who you are at every single elevator, hallway, and ice machine. Access is granted by continuously verifying your user identity rather than just relying on that one single network entry point.
Which brings us to Section 3, evolving modern security threats, moving past basic defenses.
Now that smart hotel setup sounds incredibly airtight, doesn't it? But attackers are constantly adapting to this new reality. So we have to ask a really urgent question highlighted in our source material. Is stronger authentication alone actually enough? I mean, we've widely enforced multi-factor authentication, MFA, across our organizations. But is that actually stopping the bad guys in a cloud-first world?
The truly unsettling answer is not always. Even with MFA widely enforced, attackers are evolving and successfully bypassing these standard perimeter defenses. They're utilizing highly sophisticated phishing and social engineering attacks to trick users. And get this, they're using session hijacking and token theft. That means they aren't even trying to guess your password. They're simply stealing the digital access badge your computer creates after you've already logged in. These advanced, targeted techniques prove that just turning on MFA is no longer a silver bullet.
Let's look at Section 4, complexity and business impact, the hidden cost of overlapping tools.
Now, what's really interesting here is how these technical realities hit the bottom line. Senior leadership absolutely needs to understand that how we respond to these modern threats is creating massive operational friction. To protect this new identity perimeter, organizations are desperately stacking up multiple solutions. We're talking about things like conditional access, VPNs layered on top of cloud identities, third-party identity providers, and egress IP restrictions. While every single layer theoretically improves security, they introduce some severe hidden costs. We're looking at drastically increased financial costs, much higher technical complexity, and deeply tangled dependencies between systems.
And all of this layering, it frequently results in one massive single point of failure. By integrating multiple complex identity systems into a single login flow, usually to try and make things easier for the user, we actually create a critical vulnerability. If just one component in that layer chain breaks, boom, the business impact is immediate. No access, total standstill. Your non-technical users can't do their jobs, and ironically, IT is often forced to relax security policies just to get the business running again during an outage.
All right, on to Section 5, Access Configuration Audit Checklist, Actionable Steps for Leadership.
So how do we actually fix this misalignment? How do we handle complex environments that are expensive and suddenly way harder to secure? Here's a very clear, actionable path forward to address those hidden costs. First, audit your environment for overlapping or unnecessary subscriptions. Are you paying for 3 tools that basically do the exact same identity check? Second, rigorously ensure that your security tools align directly with actual business needs, not just IT wish lists. Third, review your legacy systems. Maintaining old systems that require special security exceptions is a massive vulnerability, so document them and plan their retirement. Fourth, and this is huge, critically evaluate the user experience of your identity design. If it's too complicated or annoying to log in, your users are going to find workarounds, and that completely defeats the purpose.
Finally, Section 6, Future Infrastructure Security Trends. Where we go from here?
As we look ahead, the evolution of enterprise infrastructure is only accelerating. So the crucial point is this: the future of security completely abandons the idea of physical location. It's just less about where your systems physically live. Because let's face it, we're going to continue trusting cloud providers. Instead, true security is going to be highly dependent on the elegance and strength of your identity design. It's going to require strict alignment with your business needs to avoid all those costly complexities we talked about. And perhaps most importantly, there will be a crucial, ongoing emphasis on user awareness and daily security practices.
Which brings us right back to our opening thought. Looking at your own organization, the tools you use, and the friction your users experience every single day. Has modern cloud security actually improved things for your business, or has it just made everything infinitely more complex? It's a question every IT leader needs to be actively asking themselves right now. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.